So I interviewed two people who are auto experts. One guy is Adrian Balfour last month, and then just this weekend, Michael Dunn. Both of them are, legacy auto. They worked at executive levels for all these legacy autos. They're consulting today. Adrian Balfour said that he does not think that any OEM would sign a partnership with Tesla's FSD. He says that if they would not do that because they would just become a brick at that point. They would need to figure out how to, resolve their software issues and then find a partner for FSD. So a company like Wave could be that partner. They would, there's many of them. There's not just this one company, but a pure, neural net, camera only solution, because that's clearly the winner at this point. Invest in them, partner with them. That's what Nissan did. The other one is Michael Dunn this weekend. He again worked at Detroit, he's a consultant for many OEMs. He was the president of GM Indonesia. He said he strongly disagrees with what Adrian said. He thinks that they will be forced to partner with Tesla because just like the superchargers, there's no real solution. And, the thing too is about timing, what you were saying, Yoda. So let's say that Wave is a successful solution, but how long will it take them to get to where Tesla is today? It sounds like here that they're not going to do a robotaxi version for Nissan until 2 or 3 years from now. By that point, where's Elon, where's Tesla, and where's that solution? So if you are an OEM and you're trying to decide what to do, what's your choices? How do you guys fall into that debate there?
I mean, it's going to be there's going to be multiple sources at some point. It's not going to be 100%.
I think we just lost you, Jeff.
I can talk, but I have no idea what to say.
Oh, I thought that you're pretty confident that Tesla was going to partner with some OEM by FSD.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hear all your interviews. Actually, I watch them, but
wow, really?
I do. Yeah, I do. I mean, I never admit it, but now you heard it. So. And the one with Michael Dunn was interesting, and the one with the other OEM guy, I don't remember the name, was actually
Adrian.
Very interesting as well.
Yeah.
And I think they both nailed it. They can't transport themselves into becoming completely redundant. The whole system is built on hundreds and thousands and sometimes tens of thousands of suppliers, and them, putting the pieces together and keeping these suppliers busy 2-3 years in advance. And it's actually funny. I have a client who does one of their plastic parts. I think it's anyway, I don't want to get into that, but he was telling me in one of my calls with him how 2 to 3 years in advance they have to get all their models ready, and then consistency, and then whatever. I mean, it's just so tedious. Now, if suddenly you have the whole driving system, the cameras, and the data all from Tesla, it makes them just, it makes them completely redundant. The whole thing is, and the problem for Tesla has always been and will become more by the day that this will be viewed as being monopolistic. And that's why Elon is out there all the time saying, we want to do partnerships, but they don't want to partner. So what do you do? How do you get out of this triangle of, being accused to be monopolistic, being open to discuss it with them, and them, don't want to touch it? How do you get out of that? I have no idea. Sat, you have any ideas? You're always good at that.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about what one of the Ford engineers was saying, that they had to deal with 100 softwares for their vehicles. So if you're talking a partner with FSD, even on that level, like they would have to work with ground up, like setup, basically, even on the software side with Tesla. So I think it becomes, they can make partnerships and deals in that way where it doesn't become monopolistic, but they would have to give up a lot in terms of the new vehicle. Like that's why I don't think any of the current, whatever existing vehicles, they have all these partnerships with other suppliers and deals with other suppliers. You essentially got that, and then you have to partner with FSD with Tesla. So it's supercharging is simpler, right? It's just the charging mechanism and the charging part of the software. So that's not a bigger challenge compared to saying, hey, we're going to do FSD. It needs to be controlling the entire vehicle. Then you have to give up all those software engineering of different suppliers. So I think it fundamentally changes the way that they're building the current vehicles. And I don't know how much of the urgency they have to switch over. And they think they can do it themselves. And I don't think anyone who's reviewing the vehicles are saying that their software, the competitor software, is superior on almost any front. So I think that at least one OEM is going to try. It's not like Tesla hasn't before. They've done it with Toyota and Mercedes for the drivetrain. So it's not like they haven't worked it. They have experience doing it. It's just that the OEMs need to be on board with it, and they need to be on board with the platform that Tesla has developed with the FSD software. So I think it takes a lot more guts from the other OEM to have leadership, and I haven't seen that yet.
But it doesn't matter who it is. If they partner with Wave, they would still do. They would have all that heavy lifting as well.
Yeah, it's just that it's not like, are those products in usage now? Like, is it proven? They do have the data for it. Like Tesla has like millions and millions of data every single day. Like we're all driving the vehicles. So I just think that the longer, every day, every hour it passes, Tesla has more data. So how do you compete against that? So they can partner with other people and other software companies, but I don't know if that's necessarily the best choice. I mean, supercharging had like the CHAdeMO too, right? And there's like a bunch of other small ones, and they all went away. And now they're all contracting this in North America with Tesla.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, Piper Sandler actually had in their note that one of the potential catalysts could be an announcement like this, a Tesla partnership announcement. So it's still on the table for sure, but it's interesting. It hasn't happened. We all thought that by now something would have happened by now.
I mean, even on the autopilot level, I don't find the other vehicles. I drove a Prius before with their auto drive or whatever that thing was, and it couldn't keep in lane when there were strong winds. So forget about even FSD on the basic level of just keep like lane keeping and like driving in the lane. I don't find the other competitors to be that good. At least the gas OEMs. Like I haven't tried Rivian, but the OEMs and the gas one that I've tried, they're way behind. So we're talking about FSD being unsupervised now. It's a whole different level. So I think they're gonna have to wake up knowing that the software is gonna start taking over, and you see this over the entire industry too, because Apple was primarily a hardware company and making their profits on hardware. Now it's accessories and it's the software and it's the app store. Like that's a bigger portion of the revenue and the focus. So they're trying to center their hardware around the softwares now, like all the apps and stuff. So the trajectory has changed where there's certain saturations that's going to come up with the mechanical side of the engineering that you can only go so far. And the enhancement of the experience of the services becomes the software. And it's clear that Tesla's the one that's pioneering on the vehicle side. And it will be also with Optimus. So and people only see what's at hand right now that we see, because obviously they want to show more presentations because Elon started realizing the companies or startups are starting to just copying him. But I know that there's going to be more revenue streams when Optimus comes online too.
Mm-hmm. It's a good reminder too. In China, right? They did this big test. They had 36 competitors, and then Tesla's FSD was bar none the highest. It got 5 out of 6, and everyone else. The next one up there was 3 out of 6, and then and the rest of them were 1 or 2 out of 6. So they are 2 or 3 years behind Tesla's system at the minimum.
Yeah, I think we also have to know that whether it's a startup or NVIDIA selling its autonomous driving solution, these other players, they have sales teams, they have a whole machine that's reaching out to the OEM, the automakers. They probably got a great presentation built out of Canva. They're probably whining and dining the prospects. I don't think Tesla's doing any of that. I don't think they've got a whole department to wine and dine the automakers. And so if you look at the internal kind of decision-making process, my guess is to run an RFP to select, one of these software solutions. It takes probably a couple of years just to go through the whole process, and then you start to implement it. I would say it's not going to be obvious that Tesla, wins out of that, because Tesla is not going to check all the boxes. Probably they're not as flexible as some of these startups would be, or these sort of solution providers would be, because they're busy running with their own business. So yeah, I'm not surprised that this is happening. I think really that tipping point is going to be when the moment when unsupervised happen. And we can look at a proxy of that as simply Tesla removing the first safety drivers out of Austin. The moment that happens, I think it's a forcing function for the automaker CEOs to take a hard look at what programs they're testing right now and why all those are below par, compared to the Tesla solution that's going to be working in Austin.
Yeah, I'm still looking up with Wave. I'm not sure if they are. In one article says that they are they don't have LiDAR, and in another one they do have LiDAR. So trying to understand. Yeah, I think they have two systems at this point. Okay, well, we'll find out. This is lots of big developments. Looks like that NVIDIA is out in force, investing in every place they can invest in. They're investing in their customers, and they're trying to make a competitor to Tesla. And but I think you guys said earlier, it doesn't mean that Tesla does not have a good relationship with Jensen. It's just what Jensen needs to do, right? He needs to develop more than one customer. To develop an industry out of this, that would be perfect for him. A robot industry, an autonomous car industry, AI data center industry. Then he'll have lots of customers. So hopefully, and I think we all trust that Elon will have a solution to this. And but yeah, when you said that when Tesla starts being unsupervised, isn't it? I mean, like, how is there a question mark for, I guess, OEMs that Tesla may not be able to get to unsupervised? It's a huge question mark, and we need to prove it. Yoda, do you think it's still a question mark? Can't hear you, Yoda. Boy, having trouble today. No, we lost everybody. Boy, okay. There you are. Who's there?
Jeff's here.
Jeff?
Alexandra's here.
Okay.
Of course, we're all here.
We're nobody.
Yeah, Xander's here.
Yeah, no,
Ask
we're
the
just
question.
nobody.
Nobody's
Like always.
answering the question. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seth was answering, you just didn't hear him.
Everybody's back. Oh my gosh. Okay. Is unsupervised FSD a question mark still? I mean, clearly it is. I'm not being dumb and saying no, it's all. But when do other partners wait until you got to show it to me before I do it, or they can already see the path towards there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's still, a question mark. My guess is it's still a question mark for, some of the people who are listening to this space right now. Not just the technology, but when it would happen, and how restrictive it's going to be in terms of the operations. So there's a lot of question marks. But I think for the OEMs, they're really looking at the technology layer, and so Tesla reaching unsupervised will be that tipping point for them to take a really hard look at the licensing of Tesla. If I were in their seats, I would just take an and approach. Why not invest in Wave and Tesla at the same time, and allocate different models that will take different technologies, and you bet two horses, and one of them will finish the race.
Yeah, can you do that? Like, that's what I was thinking as well. Like, you can sign a deal with Tesla and then make it like it's not exclusive. At some point, I can switch you out, and then, is the lifting so heavy and so expensive for them to do that it doesn't make sense for them to then switch it to another player in the future? Yeah.
I mean, the best leverage in any negotiation is having another source. Sometimes that may not happen for a period of time, but generally in tech, it tends to work itself out. But yeah, it may not be concurrent, but it may be one of these things. Like, for example, people used to go, between Qualcomm and MediaTek for a CPU solution for a smartphone. They're not exactly, drop-ins for each other, but they're markets where you could interchange them and compete. So yeah, I see that happening. Again, I don't see there being just one solution. It's only Tesla, and I think that's not a smart way to look at it. A smart way to look at it is margin share, and it's also profitability. And you just focus on who's building the lowest cost, whatever the end service that's being provided. If it's miles driven, it's okay. What's the lowest cost and the best experience per mile driven, and pick whatever variables you want to pick in terms of the experience, whether it's the aesthetic of the vehicles, whether it's obviously the performance in terms of how they drive, and then you have the cost structure. And you want to consider the business model and the tech. And there's so many people that just look at one and not the other. And unfortunately, what it looks like with EV and it looks like it's being repeated with self-driving is people are just looking at, did they announce something? Well, a lot of people announce stuff. And then you look at what actually happens in production. It's a different thing. So,
yeah, I was going to throw a curveball at you. Sorry, I'm going to throw a curveball at you, Jeff, because Joe Backday threw this at me this morning, which is very interesting. Tell me if this is possible. So you've got Nissan. Nissan's dying. Honda's dying. These brands can just go away. But what if OpenAI buys them? What if another company, because as you move towards autonomy, it's no longer a car company. You're now a robotaxi company. Would you think that that's a possibility? Not OpenAI, but let's say NVIDIA decides to buy them. Some big company says, okay, I'm going to buy one of these dying automakers and then put in my, it's really a software business at this point, my AI autonomy software, and then build cars. Is that a possibility?
Anything's possible, but you'd have to look at why are those companies going out of business today? Because if you look at Tesla's automobile business, it's not horrible. It's, greater than 15% gross margin, the number one selling EV. The Tesla knows how to design and make hardware. So now you go back to these companies, you say, well, why can't they make a profitable EV? Why is their brand declining over time? What's happening with them? And you'll find is you can't just like, oh, I'm just going to go buy them. And by the way, it's not clear to me that OpenAI has assets to work on physical real world AI. It isn't clear to me that they have that gear. And you can't just acquire that overnight either. I mean, this is years and years worth of work. I think people try to just point to one thing, or like it's the miles or it's this or it's that. This is a lot of engineering work to get the training models to work, to get the QA systems to work, to get everything, all the component testing working together, to get your supply base aligned. This is a lot of work. And Tesla has done this, again, from the base layer of silicon and every detail in AI 4 and AI 5 upcoming to how the entire system works together, hardware-wise and software-wise, with engineering the entire vehicle. So even if they do that, there's still OpenAI is still not making silicon, and NVIDIA still has multiple partners they have to deal with. So Tesla is over, and this isn't something you can do overnight. OpenAI cannot become Tesla overnight, or you can't. So, but there are companies that can move and converge. And like I said, I think there will be multiple sources. The question is what's their cost structure? What's their business and profitability? There's a lot of people making EVs today, but they're not all profitable, but they're there. and that, you know, everybody that's making an EV there is maybe taking some amount of business away from Tesla. So it's hard to describe, but it's, you know, it's, to me, it's margin share and market share, and Tesla doesn't need 100% of either.
Yeah, you did a good job articulating that, making me understand that that may not be as easy as people say. Possibility, still a possibility, right? Because then everybody needs to start moving towards real world AI, physical products. So we have Omar here. Omar, do you have any more secrets about FSD version 14 like you did last week? Do you give any credence to Chuck Cook when he was like surmising that maybe those cars that he's seeing driving by his neighborhood are FSD version 14 being tested?
Hey, I'm in the car, so my audio might not be great. FSD 14 definitely is being tested by employees. It's probably going to start going out to early access end of September, October, and the plan is to have it available for wide release before the shareholder meeting.
Whoa. Okay. That sounded like pretty confident about that. Wow. God.
That's the plan. There's no guarantee, obviously, but from what I've heard, that's the schedule they're looking at. They want everyone arriving to the shareholder meeting with FSD 14, voting yes on that comp plan when they see what it can do.
That makes sense. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I wonder. Do you guys, that is a very big catalyst, right? Depending on what it can do. I can't wait. So when did you say? And maybe in a week or two, if everything goes around, you know, and accordingly, then you might get it in a week or two, maybe, if you're one of the early adopters. My gosh.
I don't really know for sure. I just know that some employees are testing it. I haven't heard any information on obviously when they feel comfortable going to early access, but I can imagine it would be in the next few weeks.
Wow. And then the last time they did this, it seems like it's been forever. Did they do the thing where only a small group of people like you got it first? Did they do that last time? Yeah.
Well, there's no telling if they're going to follow that same sort of release cadence, but it is a pretty safe bet because, you know, when you have a new version of the software, you want to make sure it doesn't regress. You want to make sure people keep that high bar. You don't introduce any new errors in their area. So it probably would be smart to start with a few cars and roll it out more widely because people have, you know, pretty high expectations now of FSD. They expect no interventions.
I can't wait. FSD 14. It doesn't register for me that it might actually come, let's say in a month from now, but it's September, October, November. So we got 2 months. What would be the value of having that to all of us before then, before the shareholder meeting? I can see that you definitely want robo-taxi because we'll be in Austin. We'll be taking robo-taxis. The shareholders, now that they included the geofence includes the Giga Texas. And Alexandra, we know for sure, right, that the shareholder meeting is at Giga Texas?
Yes, we do. That is part of the proxy.
Okay.
We know for sure that it is at Giga Texas.
Okay. And so
I have a little information, a little bird that tells me that this robot dance seems very likely.
The robo-van is very likely.
No, the dance of the bots.
The robots dancing is very likely. Okay. But we still don't know if it's Optimus Gen 3. It could still be the Gen 2. But definitely he said we're going to have robots dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wasn't told.
I mean, Seth, you're gonna dance and you're out dancing all of us. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. Where were we sat? Yeah. At the We Robot event, I was with you and you're dancing with the robots. You're so good.
I mean, Seth is the best.
The best.
Seth, I think you should dance with them. If ever there is something, you should go up on stage.
Yeah. Just do it. Just do it.
I hope there's a chance. I hope they include me.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. Okay, so we will be at a a penthouse in Austin, and then hopefully we'll be able to hail
Why
a
are you telling this
robotaxi.
to everybody? I mean, you were telling us we're not allowed to do a party. We're not gonna. Jeff, please help me. I mean, he's doing it again.
I'm just saying that we are planning to hail a robotaxi to take us to Austin, to the shareholder
So
meeting.
why are you talking about the penthouse then? What's this all about again?
It's fun. We'll take a. I'm just hoping that it's in a location where we will be able to take the robotaxi, and I think we are, right?
I mean, I think it was Farzad who said by the shareholder meeting it should be including the airport.
Yes. Okay. And so that one for sure. I mean, hopefully the robotaxis, well, very likely will have FSD 14 by then. I mean, is there a chance that they already have it now?
They obviously have a completely other software than we do, so
Right. They're testing it and probably switching over, if not already. Yeah, I agreed. And especially if it's
and I mean, I don't know you, but we're getting every 3-4 days these minor fixes
Yes.
update that take 55 minutes. It's crazy, and it's so good now.
yes, I get that as well. Almost every week. Yeah, getting a 55-minute update. Yeah. But I still have another off-gassing issue with my car again, and I'm getting these warnings, and so I'm bringing it in on Thursday to get that fixed again.
What is it? Is it the cameras need recalibrating?
No, the underneath the windshield, the front camera is underneath the windshield, and then it gets foggy. And so last time I brought it into service, they cleaned it up, took them less than 15 minutes. They did it for free. And then since then, I've not had any critical disengagements. And then now I'm getting the warning saying that we got to get that cleaned again. So I'm bringing it back in again on Thursday.
And you think this is getting dirty from the outside?
No, from inside. It's called off-gas.
What are you doing in the car? Okay, let's get to the point of it.
It's a known issue. No, that's a known issue. In fact, Elon replied saying that this is a top priority for the team to fix that issue.
So when you look at the front of the car, can you see that the front camera is foggy?
Yes. You know how the Tesla actually shows you after you stop driving, it'll show you a photo of what it looks like? They also do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but the photo can have some false positives.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into service every time you get that notification. You know, the sun hitting it at the wrong angle can give you that notification.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you do a visual check on the front and make sure it's actually looking foggy.
Yeah, it did look foggy last time. It looks foggy now, and I did clean it already. So it's an issue.
Is this a new car?
September of last year. So I had to do it in February, and then now I have to do it again. Yeah. Elon said, right? It's a known issue. They have to fix it.
It is a hardware issue, so they've got to figure it out. This has been figured out in multiple other settings.
Yeah. Omar, you know that the new iPhones, that somebody posted and said it has off-gassing on the camera too, and you can't fix that. So even the iPhones have that problem.
Yeah, I mean, I got mine cleaned once and it hasn't had any problems since. But yeah, it sounds like this is actually something that they're really going to want to pay attention to for robotaxi.
Gosh, I really want to go back and test out robotaxi in Austin again, just to see if you can tell the difference. If you can even know that there's a difference.
The next time you try it, it'll be running FSD 14.
That's why I'm saying, yeah, I'd love to be able to test it now to get the feel if it's even different than the way I felt the first time in June. I can't wait. This is the big one. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate that. We'll do this again next week. Another great call. Thank you, Omar and Alexandra, Jeff, Xander, Sat, and Tasayoda. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Herbert.
We'll see you.
Thank you. See you.
Bye all. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.